The Simpsons at its greatest was downright majestic, but the current lifeless state of the program indicates there's only so many stories you can squeeze out of one family having adventures in small-town America. With Futurama, however, those shackles were cast off and the sky wasn't the limit, all of space and time was the limit. Futurama had towering storytelling ambition. It went 1,000 years into the future during the first episode and to the moon in the second, and this huge, almost operatic canvas on which to tell stories gave the show's episodes often dizzyingly high concepts, but also a crazy amount of tenderness and heartbreak. These are the moments from Futurama that tugged at the heartstrings just like Brannigan's Law, hard and fast. I'm Adam from Whatculture.com, and here are the 10 most emotional Futurama moments ever. Spoilers, obviously. Number 10, Inspector 5. It takes a very good show to be able to make bureaucracy affecting, but Futurama succeeded and then some. In the episode Lethal Inspection, Bender discovers that he was created without the ability to back up his memory, meaning if his current body was ever destroyed, he too would cease to exist. Outraged, Bender enrolls fellow pencil pusher Hermes to help find Inspector 5, the man who approved his defect. One road trip to Mexico later, and we discover that Inspector 5 is none other than Hermes himself. In the past, Hermes couldn't bring himself to scrap little Bender, approving him before resigning his post. The deception of it all makes it a somewhat messy ending, and the Twee song played over the revealing flashback nearly makes it sickening, but it's a sober glimpse at mortality in an over-the-top world. Number 9, Zoidberg finds love. Every comedy show has that character that the world permanently dumps on. 30 Rock has Lutz, The Simpsons has Moe, Futurama has Zoidberg, the penniless quack doctor, victimized because simply it's his lot in life. But in the show's penultimate episode, Stench and Stenchability, the writers give him a break. Miserable because his horrendous odor drives away any woman he meets, Zoidberg finds comfort in the form of Marianne, a flower vendor who has no sense of smell. The two are happy together, but Marianne wishes more than anything to one day be able to appreciate what flowers smell like. Zoidberg sacrifices his happiness to give her the medical procedure that will allow her to smell. But, having never learned what good or bad smells were, she discovers she likes the smell of Zoidberg because she likes him. It was a moment made even more touching by the fact that viewers knew the show was coming to an end and that the final, enduring image of Zoidberg would be him when he was happy. Number 8, the holophone sunset. Before Futurama was brought back from cancellation not once but twice, The Devil's Hands Are Idle Playthings was originally slated to be the final episode of the show, and if they were going out with a full space opera and you. In a plot ripped straight from the pages of Faust, Fry makes a deal with the robot devil and, via shenanigans, ends up swapping hands with the metal Satan. This gives him the ability to play the ludicrously complicated instrument, the holophone, and finally, to woo Leela before the show is cancelled forever, stages a public opera about her life. Fry loses his hands back to the robot devil and reverts to his clumsy, musically inept ways, and everyone leaves, apart from Leela, who says, "Please don't stop playing, Fry. I want to hear how it ends." Fry plays the last piece of the opera as crude holograms of Fry and Leela hold hands and walk off into a shonky but wonderful sunset. Number 7, Leela's parents. For almost the show's entire first run, Leela was an alien, the last of her species. But turns out her answers didn't lie in the stars, but deep in the sewers, home of the city's mutated underclass. Born the least mutated mutant of all time and able to pass for humanoid alien, she was given up by her one-eyed parents for adoption to have a chance of life outside the sewers. The twist reveal of the identity of Leela's parents is given to the audience early into the episode, with viewers having to wait while she caught up. But the final punch was as unexpected as it was sweet. Through a series of flashbacks, it's revealed that Leela was never really growing up alone, her parents keeping her safe whilst unseen in the shadows, giving her brief moments of happiness throughout her childhood. Number 6, Fry moves the stars. Well, I mean, how could an episode featuring the Harlem Globetrotters not make you want to well up with tears? In Time Keeps on Slipping, time is broken, shifting forward from moment to moment with no one being able to remember what's happening in the lost gaps. To fix the problem, they come up with the idea of moving stars around a certain nebula. Meanwhile, a time skip occurs, jumping from Fry attempting to woo Leela to their wedding day, with no one able to figure out how Fry convinced her to love him, and Leela assuming it was some sort of trick. With the time skips getting worse, the team is left with no choice but to create a black hole in the aforementioned nebula with a massive implosion, and just before the bomb goes off, sucking in all the matter around it, Fry notices that the moved suns spell out, "I love you, Leela." He had written a love note to Leela using the very stars themselves, a feat so preposterously romantic that of course it has to die. Before Leela can see the message that would have melted her heart, the black hole sucks the stars away, with only Fry ever knowing what he did. Number 5, A Mother's Dream. Ah, the dead people from Fry's past, a go-to source of heart-wrenching Futurama pain. Using flashbacks from the past and echoing their thematic resonance in the present is pretty Pavlovian when it comes to making the feels, but these episodes are just so damn lovely. In Game of Tones, which aired during the final season of the show, Fry is tasked by Nibbler with exploring his own memories Assassin's Creed style. Fry spends a lovely day with his family, especially his mother, and he wants to stay with them for as long as he can, but unfortunately his family are whited out past a certain time of day because he has no memory of that time. That's sad enough, but the true punch comes at the end of the episode. Back in the future, he falls asleep and dreams of his mother, but soon realizes that he is remembering things that he didn't experience. Nibbler tells him that he's not in his dream, but his mother's. The two hug, and the mother wakes up in the past, happy to have seen her long-lost son in her dreams. That is weapons-grade bittersweet. Number 4, Leela's million-year message. As mentioned before, every emotion is magnified in Futurama because of the hugeness of the ideas. Devotion and love is so much more palpable and affecting when seen to span vast swathes of space and time, and that's what places this entry from the episode The Late Philip J. Fry so high. Fry agrees to help the professor with his time machine that only travels forward in time. There's an accident, because of course there is, and they end up going millions of years into the future with no way back. During the journey, Fry is able to get a message to Leela, and it reaches her deep into her life long after Fry disappeared. She returns to a cavern where they were supposed to meet and shoots a series of holes in the ceiling which start leaking water. Millions of years in the future, Fry happens upon this very cavern and finds that the water has calcified into stalagmites that spell the message, "Dear Fry, our time together was short, but it was the best time of my life." Oh. Number 3, Fry's dead brother. During the Luck of the Fryish, we see flashbacks of Fry and his brother Yancey, who would often steal Fry's expressions, style, and it would appear his lucky 7-leaf clover. Fry finds footage from the past of a figure who looks very much like Yancey, now using his name, Philip J. Fry, with his clover in his suit lapel, who rose to fame as an astronaut, Fry's ambition. Furious that Yancey has not only stolen his clover but also his dream, Fry goes to where his brother is buried with the aim to dig him up and take back his lucky charm. However, when he gets there, he realizes that the Philip Fry buried there is in fact Yancey's son, Philip, named after his long-lost uncle, who Yancey misses every day. It's a brilliantly orchestrated twist, a total reversal of the plot, with a perfect combination of sweetness and melancholy. Number 2, Seymour. Oh, y'all were expecting this to be number 1, right? In Jurassic Park, Fry discovers the fossilized remains of his beloved pet pooch, Seymour Butts. Throughout the episode, the viewers are shown, once again, flashbacks of Fry's happier times with the mongrel hound. It's discovered there is a way to bring the dog back, memories and all, but at the last moment, Fry refuses. According to the remains, Seymour lived many years after he disappeared, and Fry refuses to bring back a dog who had moved on and would not remember him. In a soul-crushing twist, unbeknownst to him, Seymour had in actual fact waited years for Fry to return before eventually giving up and dying. That is the saddest thing that's ever happened in fiction. What prevents it from being number 1 is that the writers had a perfectly serviceable bittersweet ending right there before the twist. You see, the dog would have lived a good full life after Fry disappeared, and Fry would have accepted that, and that would have been sad, but also a perfectly lovely ending about acceptance, journey complete. But no, they decided to flip the table and make everything so horribly, horribly sad. F you, assholes. And number 1, the end. The final episode, the last moment of the show. Will you leave the audience baffled and underwhelmed, or bow out with the perfect grace note? Futurama did the latter. Without spoiling the main body of the episode, Fry and Leela end up on the outside of time. The world around them is frozen, locked in place, but the two of them can grow old together, and they do so, spending many happy decades together. Then science mumbo-jumbo happens, and it transpires that they have the opportunity to travel back to the moment before they got stuck in time, while retaining all of their memories. Fry and Leela then agree to go around again. The episode ends, and the show ends. It's the perfect conclusion to the high-concept, silly science show that was rooted in beloved characters. The final message to the viewers is, we have had a wonderful time, and that's done now. Then inviting fans to go back and rewatch all of the moments that made them love the show. Utterly heartwarming, and as the last ever image of Futurama, it is simply a happy ending. And that's our list. Did we miss any out? Tell us about it in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter here. I'm Adam from Whatculture.com, and I'll see you soon.